So, can you please introduce yourself?
Sure. My name is Megan Stambridge, and I am a library technician, and I work at NorQuest College Library. I work mostly in acquisitions, so I purchase the print books that we have here. I also work on statistics, reporting statistics for the library, and I work at one of our correctional libraries as well as a backup. I also supervise our evening staff, so I have quite a lot of variety there, but I would say 50% of my job is ordering books and working in acquisitions.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
When was you first hired?
I was first hired in September of 2019, and I was hired as a part-time employee. So I worked here part-time until September 2022. So that's when I was hired full-time and have been in my role. So I've been in this particular role since September 2022. So
Was this your first job or?
This was not my first job. I mean, it was my part-time job was my first library job here at NorQuest. I worked at another library. It was an elementary school, so I was the library technician at an elementary school library for about a year and a half.
Okay. How was the hiring process here?
The hiring process for my part-time job was pretty typical. The job was posted, I applied for it, and then I came for an interview and was the successful candidate and was hired. Onboarding was pretty easy here, and the training was very good, so it was quite an easy process. For my current position that I'm in now, I actually didn't have to go through an interview process for it. I was offered the job after working here for 3 years.
Oh,
yeah.
If we want to be at that position, what are the qualifications do we require?
The qualifications, it depends on the position. So if for a part-time casual position here, we do look for someone who has their tech diploma or who is currently studying towards their tech diploma. So they might be in their first year or just finished their first year. And we're looking for similar experience too. So if a student has experience working at the MacEwan Library, for example, then that's really relevant to working at NorQuest because they're similar libraries. And then depending on the position, if we had a tech position open, we would definitely be looking for you to have finished your tech diploma and likely to have some experience already.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. On what basis do you select mostly the candidates?
We select them by going through that process that I mentioned of having them apply, submit their resumes. Then we select the candidates that we want to interview based on what I mentioned before, whether they are students or have finished their tech diploma, and then based on their experience as well. We will sometimes look at hiring people who have their MLIS degree, but that depends on their experience as well, whether they have experience working as more of a tech role. And then we go through the interview process and we select the candidate that's going to be the most suitable, and then we let them know that they're the candidate, basically.
What were the something that's unique in you that made difference among all the candidates?
It's hard to say, but I think for my initial job interview here for the part-time job, I think part of it was that when I was doing the program, I was hired during my first year or when I had just finished my first year. And so during my first year in the program at MacEwan, I worked hard to take every volunteer opportunity I could in order to get a lot of experience. And I was volunteering at a library while I was in school. And I think that helped show them that I had some experience at least. And also in my previous work history, I worked at an adult upgrading school that was similar to NorQuest, so had similar students. So I understood the population of NorQuest and what that looked like to work with students from different backgrounds. So I think that might be why.
Oh,
Yeah.
like now the job you're doing, is it different as what you expected or?
It is a little different. I think when I was in school, I didn't realize how much of this job was helping people to print. Like they need a lot of help printing and help with technological issues. So I think I didn't expect to have to help with that as much as I do. And I think on the flip side, I didn't expect to have as much variety as I do in my day. But I think part of that is working in an academic library. I think we do, as techs, get more opportunities to do more things than maybe working at a public library. Although it's very different. Both of those roles are different. But I guess I didn't expect to have the opportunities I have in this job. Like, for example, I'm on the collection development team, so I have a voice on how we develop our collection here, which I didn't think I would be able to do as a tech. And I have my own collection that I get to select for, which is really fun. So I think, yeah, those were the two things that I didn't expect.
Do you do cataloging system?
I have done a little bit, but I'm not the cataloger here. We have someone who's in that role already.
Okay.
So I do a little bit as needed, but I'm not the main cataloger.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you like the most or find the most interesting in this job position?
I think what I like the most is working with students and staff. I had a job before this, totally different career, where I worked in front of a computer all day. And so I wanted to change where I worked with people. And this is a job where you will work with people all day long. So I think I enjoy that the most about it. I find it really satisfying working with students, especially, especially international students and students who are newcomers to Canada and they're just learning English. I really enjoy working with those students because they're just a lot of fun to work with, and working with them is quite rewarding.
Yeah. And what are the least that you?
I would say my least favorite parts of the job are having to manage noise and behavior in this space. So it is quite a big space, and you have a lot of students, and it can get very noisy. So I don't enjoy having to always be telling students to be quiet or to not do certain things. I think another thing I don't enjoy is I'm always interrupted in my day, and that's just how it is. So it's hard sometimes when you're working to get into a good rhythm or flow, because you're constantly being either pulled out to the desk or the printer's broken, can you come fix the printer? That kind of thing. So, and I'll just see if I wrote down anything else for that question. I think, just the other thing would be, I am more of an introvert. And so having to be on desk all the time, even on my bad days where I have to still have the same level of service for every single student, that can be kind of tiring sometimes. So I would say those are the downsides.
Yeah. What are your opinions on censorship?
I would say I'm not for censorship at all. I'm very against censorship, especially in the library. I don't think we should censor almost anything other than things that are, created to misinform people. That I think should be censored out of the library. But otherwise, I'm against censorship.
Okay. Yeah. In your opinion, what are the skills that would make someone a successful candidate as a library technician?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think being flexible is really important. Having good communication skills and good time management skills are very important. Also, you will be helping, if you're working in an academic library, you'll be helping students with APA and MLA citation styles and maybe other ones depending on the library. So you have to have a really good understanding of citation styles. Also, your research skills need to be up to date because you'll be helping students find information and resources. So having really good research skills is important. And then, of course, having empathy and patience those are both important skills to have or qualities to have when you're dealing with the public. And also the desire just to keep learning and growing. When you work in an academic library, you not only have to know about the library's policies and procedures, but you have to know about the college's policies and procedures as well, because you have to know how to refer students to other places in the college if they need help. So you have to constantly be learning and adapting in your role.
Yeah. So that's it.
Thank
you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. My pleasure.